Welcome to Followed by Mercy with Austin Gardner. This is where we talk about God's grace and mercy that meets us and follows us even in our lowest moments and lifts us to hope again. No matter what's been broken, His love still heals. So let's move from pain to praise together, because surely goodness and mercy does follow me and pursue me all the days of my life. I am very excited today to have with me Robert and Kelli Canfield, extremely good friends of ours. And I really believe that they have a message that can change our lives, all of us, help us all. Because when you go through suffering, you learn something about the Savior. And when you go through stuff, it changes you. So Robert and Kelli, thank y'all for being here today. And so very happy to have you. I hope that you'll just relax and we can just chew the fat and talk about it.
Amen.
So let's start off, Kelli. Maybe people don't understand. You have a disease, and tell us a little bit about that.
I have what's called Pompe disease. It's a type of muscular dystrophy. It affects your muscles. I guess the easiest way to explain it is that your body produces glycogen, which acts like the gasoline or the fuel for your body. And then when it is done with the glycogen, it puts it into your cells, into what's called a lysosome. And that's like the trash bag of the cell. And that's where the cell gets rid of everything that it doesn't need. And then when the glycogen gets into the lysosome, your body makes an enzyme called alpha glucosidase, which goes in and breaks down that glycogen. For me, I don't make enough of that particular enzyme. So the glycogen gets stuck in the cells and eventually ruptures the cells and kills the muscle.
Well, I'll just be honest with you. That's above and beyond anything I could ever understand. But tell us, when they tell you you have Pompe's, what do they say?
Well, it causes weakness in the muscles closest to your torso. It actually starts in the diaphragm muscles and radiates outward as it progresses. And so because I don't make enough of that enzyme to clear out all of that stuff that gets stuck in my cells, the muscles end up dying. And so it starts kind of in the middle of your body, radiates outward, and causes weakness. Weakness in your respiratory muscles, your breathing muscles, weakness in your thighs and upper arms. When I started noticing symptoms, I had difficulty rising out of chairs and climbing stairs, walking differently than other normal people, difficulty brushing my hair and my teeth, things like that.
So, Robert, how long have y'all been married? Don't get in trouble here.
I was trying to make sure I did it right. 18, almost 19 years.
And so when did you first start thinking something's not quite right?
We were in Peru. We were living in Arequipa, Peru for 6 months. And Kelly's always had a hard time climbing stairs. And I just thought,
when you first married?
Yeah. When we were in Peru and I was just like, we gotta go out there and we gotta work out more. We gotta do it, and she would always like, can you help me out type thing? And I would have to give her my arm, kind of frustrated type thing. Like, you just gotta push through this. Come on, you can do this type thing. We walked a lot in Peru. And so she would always fall behind, but I never really thought that it was anything not normal. And then after we had Charlotte, which is our first natural born child, our daughter, she started getting, I guess it was progressing, started getting worse. And I didn't really think anything of it until I was at your house. And your wife's like, Kelli can't even climb the stairs. She says, I think it was Miss Betty said, that's not normal what's going on.
Well, I think Betty looked at, y'all lived right across the street. Betty looked across the street. Kelli was lifting the baby seat and sitting at one step, climbing a step, setting a step. Betty told me something's wrong. And so, Robert, I guess I want people to understand there's hope and there's help.
Yeah.
And so tell us what you felt the very first day when you found out this, when it was finally confirmed. What did you feel?
Well, I mean,
Don't forget, I was pretty close by.
yeah, you were. I mean, you're the one that told us to go see the doctors. And so I guess, I mean, what I first felt when it confirmed as Pompe, I didn't really feel anything. Before all that, we talked at least a year and a half, 2 years, was it, that we went to specialists or something like that?
Yeah.
Did I miss?
Quite a few years.
Yeah. You told us we have to go to the doctors to get this figured out. I mean, I'm from rural Ohio, Loudonville, Ohio, little small town. And so like, I don't like going to the doctors, never cared for hospitals, don't know about the specialists.
Sure, I've changed that opinion, haven't
Yeah. I mean, we know people now in hospitals. So you told, I mean, I didn't know what to do. And so you told us to go see specialists. And so Kelli started seeing specialists, and Kelli, well, in one of our conversations, I said, we prayed 3 times, just like Paul did, for the thorn to be removed. So let's just take the grace that he gave us and just enjoy it. And she says, I understand that thought process. She said, but there's also other Bible of a lady that spent all she had. And she's like, I err on that side. It's like, I want to figure out this issue.
I don't believe it.
And I guess I don't know. I probably erred on that in the early part of my marriage because I didn't really think about it as much as I probably should have.
I'm sure it was pretty hard to think she had a life-threatening, chronic disease, right, Kelli? I mean, none of us think like that. I mean, it's like, okay, she's got the flu, she's a little weak, she needs exercise.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I thought. I wasn't skilled.
Let's get her a vitamin.
Yeah, get her a vitamin. I didn't know about ALS. I didn't know about Lou Gehrig's disease. Didn't know about all these.
So why are you missing those diseases?
Because when Kelli first started noticing weakness, right? You correct me if I'm wrong. You started talking to people in the medical field, and one person, she's a studier, so she's educated, and I'm not so much educated, and so she started studying things out, and some of the symptoms seemed like it could have been ALS.
Kelli, are they related?
They're not related, and not really, but in symptoms, like the footprint of the disease is similar, but they're not similar diseases. So when we were headed to the neuromuscular specialist who told me that I had muscular dystrophy, it wasn't the Pompe diagnosis. This was before the Pompe diagnosis. When we were headed to meet him and to go over everything, on the way I told Robert that it's either some type of muscular dystrophy or ALS. So that's why he brings ALS up.
So I want to know what you were feeling, and because we're going to try to help people.
Sure.
We're not here for a pity party for you.
Of course.
And I know that's not what you want, but I have cancer, and I enjoy somebody who's going through it looking at me and saying, look, I got the same stuff, and this is how God's helping me. So that's where we're headed. That's the goal that we have in mind here. And so I want people to understand how terrifying it was.
Well, you go through these moments where you feel like you might be crazy, or that it might be in your head. Things when you have doctors telling you that they can't find anything wrong with you, that this is coming back okay and that's coming back okay. You can see it in people's eyes, like their disbelief, or they're just thinking, oh, she's making this up. And then you start projecting that, well, am I making this up? And is there some part of me inside of me that doesn't, where I'm not realizing that, like,
Is this
I want to be sick?
Is this emotional or is it physical?
Yeah. Am I wanting, like, somewhere in the deep recesses of my mind to be sick? Like, am I trying to get attention? Or, like, you go through all of that, like, where it's, you see it in their eyes, and you hear it in their tone and in their questions, and then you think to yourself, well, maybe I am. Maybe this really is just in my head, sort of thing. So that's a difficult part of it, and that kind of leads to a little bit of hopelessness when you spend years trying to find an answer to what's going on, and there is no answer that comes. And so when we got the muscular dystrophy diagnosis, there was some relief, because it was like, okay, I'm not crazy.
I am sick.
There really is something wrong. Yes.
I'm not making this up.
Mm-hmm. But then when you realize at that point, with what he was saying I had, there was no treatment. It was The conclusion of that doctor's visit was go home, live your life best you can, be as happy as you can, and if you start to decline some more, maybe we can get you some physical therapy. But that was the extent of it.
And did they kind of give you a time? Did they give you a hint, like maybe what, 10 years?
So when we went, I said, so how long does this last? I mean, is this thing? And the doctor was I thought he was a great doctor. He was very knowledgeable and he was very quick. But he was just to the point. He's like 5, 10, 20 years. I'm not sure. So that's what he told me. And that was 12 years ago.
And what did he say was going to happen?
Slow degradation,
just slow muscle.
Till she becomes an invalid and possibly, die on a ventilator.
Her lungs would not be able to function. I want to know what you felt, husband. And please don't soften it for these people. I was in the car with you.
So when he told me, I said yes. So but I didn't, once again.
Why'd you say yes?
Because we finally, it was a relief. It was a relief because there was a time where I didn't think there was anything going on. And then things started happening worse and started progressing bad. And then people were running up to me and like you and Miss Betty started talking, and we were at a church camp, and Kelli just dropped. She just fell down. And I don't like attention, but people around, and she was embarrassed, and they told me, and I had to run over there and find out. And, you have to de-escalate the situation type thing. And so, but then you see your wife and she can't do just normal stuff. So when we finally got the diagnosis, it was a relief. But then after that, when you start studying about it, you start watching videos on YouTube, praise God. It can put you in a dark place.
Kelli, did you see him going through that?
I think that he tried to be strong around me. I think you probably saw that more than I did. You, Miss Betty, probably did. Yeah.
So how much of why God, why me?
On bad days, I still do it.
Kelli?
I would say on days when I feel a little more weak, or if there are other parts to the disease that are a little more embarrassing to talk about, and when those days come, it's a little harder. It's a little harder to go through and to think about, and to, after I got saved when I was 17, I grew up in a church 10 years hearing the gospel, and so I rejected the Lord for 10 years. And so after I got saved, I thought, he's been so good to me, so gracious to let me hear again and again and again and again and reject. I really just want to do something for him. And so in my mind, I thought maybe that the best thing that I could do for him was to go and serve him on the mission field. And so
When I met you, I believe you were a missionary to Albania.
Yes, sir. I was on deputation trying to get to Albania. I didn't get the support raised in the time that the mission board required. So I figured I needed more training. So I came to you. So yes.
And so when y'all met, everything was. Did you already know something was wrong? Could you feel it?
No, I didn't really notice anything was. I didn't notice. There weren't noticeable symptoms until
you had higher enzyme or liver reports, so you knew there was something.
Yeah, but I mean, the doctor said that I did have elevated liver enzyme, which the neuromuscular specialist did tell us was part of the problem, was a symptom of Pompe disease. It was indicating the breakdown of muscle. But I didn't realize that that's what it was. I'd had some tests and a biopsy, and the doctors then had told me that it was just normal for my body, the elevated enzymes.
It's still not clocking that there's something wrong.
No, I didn't start really thinking anything was wrong until after Charlotte was born, and I never regained my pre-pregnancy strength. And then when I started having noticeable, even for me, noticeable difficulty climbing stairs or getting out of chairs, that was when it was hard. So I was 30 when that happened. And so when I was 17, I really thought that I'd try to get to the mission field. And so I think you asked before, were there why me moments and why God, why this? And it's like a big one for me would be that I had spent all of my saved life trying to get to the mission field, thinking that was how the Lord, like that was the best thing that I could do to serve the Lord. I mean, I understand now the fallacy in that thought that I could serve the Lord and do something to honor him no matter where I am. But at that point, like it was a dream, like that was my dream, to be able to serve the Lord on the mission field. So like the why me moment really came in the loss of that dream. Like, I mean, I didn't understand, like, I wanted to serve you on the mission field. Like, nobody else wants to do that. Hardly ever. I mean, hardly any people want to do that. Lord, and you're going to take that from me, rob me of that, which is not correct biblical thinking, of course,
It's okay. It doesn't matter what's correct in the moment.
In the moment. Yeah.
And here's a beautiful thing. Our Father knows you and loves you. And when you said that, he said, I gave you free access. You can speak to me as boldly as you want, and I won't get offended because I love you. You're my beloved daughter. Well, today's podcast has been a little bit maybe on the darker side. We're going to get to the things I think that'll help you, because Robert and Kelli live a life full of grace, loving and serving God, and happy and blessed in what God's doing. And I know that's what you want. All of us live in a sin-cursed world. Every one of us live on a borrowed day. None of us know when we're going to die, and none of us are guaranteed good health. But God gives grace. Now, something I say all the time to you is we are followed by mercy. Surely goodness and mercy does follow us all the days of our life. And so don't miss the next session when we will get into more of that. And Lord willing, this will last a whole week of you getting to hear how God is working in the lives of Robert and Kelli Canfield. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening to Followed by Mercy with Elsa Gardner. If today's message spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs to know God hasn't given up on them. Remember, your pain isn't the end of your story. In Jesus, it can become praise. Thank you.